Tricia Bowerman, mental wellness coach and the health evolution advocate, because I think our health is evolving. I think all of us in this room can help usher it in the right direction. So I'd like to introduce you to my grandmother. This is Nellie, riding in Montana, in America. And this is Nellie's Fork. And this is my campaign for 2026 is what's on the end of your fork. It initiates some really interesting conversations that sort of need to be had. So I was sort of reflecting on my grandmother's fork and what I learned from her. And she had a pretty remarkable life. She owned 2 newspapers in America, way back, like in the 20s. Her friends were celebrities, politicians, prominent artists, an Indian Sioux chief, and she even outlived 3 husbands. So, today that would be something, but back then I can't imagine. But what I remember with her was spending time in her garden and her kitchen. So with all her, affluent lifestyle, she still grew veg. And I spent time in her garden. I remember probably about 3 years old, I think 1954. I plucked a carrot out of the soil and I rinsed it off in the hose pipe and ate it. I didn't scrub it, I didn't peel it. Health and safety would have gone mad. She even plucked chickens. I remember having a lighted match, age 3 or 4, singeing the feathers on the chicken. I'd never get away with that today. So, just learning those simple things from her, I think, has stayed with me, and they're starting to come round again. And she grew her veg, plucked chickens, and she made her own bread. And spending time with her in her kitchen, I had the vivid images I wish I could share, but they were just as fresh as if it was yesterday. There we go. So, what's so bad about bread? Well, it's flour, water, and time. Should be. But looking back at sort of Egyptian days, you've got wonderful hieroglyphics that illustrate them making bread. And it was, a lot of it was sourdough, because that was the only source of raising agent that they had. And bread was often even a monetary commodity as well. And people thrived on it. A standing army of 60,000 men, I can hear the echo of that, 60,000 men had wheat. They had barley, but predominantly they had wheat. And we have papyri documents showing how much grain was shipped and from where to where and for whom and consumed by. But what happened? Well, wheat changed, the process changed, and glyphosate changed. Now there's supposed to be a photo there, but we go back to 3000 BC, and we see more proof of the sourdough bread and the grain that was not sprayed with glyphosate. And it was stone ground. That was all they had. And the stone grinding is so important for digestion. So then you usher in the Industrial Revolution, sort of in between that time, well, more toward today, but still, they learned to roller mill because stone grinding was too slow. Time is money. So they roller milled. Now they could fractionate the wheat. They could separate it. They could sell the naturally occurring omega oils to the pharmaceutical and cosmetic industries, telling us they were extracting the oils to give a longer shelf life of bread. Of course, they were getting more money from the pharmaceutical and cosmetic industries than from selling us local bread. So that left us with white bread. White bread was born. They even sliced it for us. So the convenience was their marketing tool. And then more recently, in the last 50 years, is glyphosate. Now, my grandmother was born in 1881. She never knew glyphosate. When, even with her affluence, she still had weeds. So guess what we did? Pulled them up. And so I was born in 1951, so glyphosate wasn't around for the first 25 years of my life. But now, so many people are eating food with who knows. But now this is a bit boring, but please take a photo of it if you want, because you might want to reflect on it a little bit later. So glyphosate is manufactured by Monsanto. It's called Roundup, but its glyphosate is the active destructive ingredient in it. So it's sprayed on wheat. I'm just focusing on wheat. It's sprayed on most of other crops, but it gets sprayed as a weed killer initially during the planting season. Like with any liquid, it penetrates the soil and it gets drawn up through the roots. How many times the wheat gets sprayed depends on the individual farmer, but we know it at least gets sprayed twice. So it gets sprayed as a desiccant at the end of the growing season to dry it out, so they can program the harvesting. It doesn't wash off, rain off, it doesn't dissipate. It's already done the damage. It's drawn up through the roots, and as well as the crop. And it destroys the vitamins and the minerals and the amino acids in the crop, which is why we eat them. So tomato today has about 15% of the lycopene it had a couple decades ago, and other crops equally depleted. And it destroys something called the shikimate pathway, which you might not have heard of. I'm getting one nod, one. Yes. But the shikimate pathway is the communication pathway for the cells in the crop to give instructions. Make more iron, time to make some leaves, send the roots down farther, whatever it might be. Now, we all know in this room that we have good bacteria inside our body and outside our body. Those bacteria cells outnumber our human cells approximately 9-1. And approximately 54% of those bacteria cells are in our gut. And they have a shikimate pathway. So now think leaky gut. And it's the problem with bread is the glyphosate that's sprayed on the wheat. And that's where we're getting it. So many people think that they're gluten intolerant, might be genuine, but generally they can eat this bread and they're fine. And it's because of the UK grown wheat, not sprayed with glyphosate. It's stone ground and then fermented for 3 days, which modifies the gluten. And people are thriving on it. Now, glyphosate also hijacks our immune system. Our immune system is like our front line of defense. And the main amino acid that our body uses for our front line of defense is the manufacturing of glutathione, which the main amino acid is glycine. Everything starts with a G, I don't know why. But glyphosate hijacks that glycine. So you can see how it's orchestrating our immune response. And I know you've all heard of collagen, and our body makes 28 different types of collagen. Well, guess what the main amino acid in collagen is? It's glycine. So let's look at glyphosate in our gut health. So glyphosate destroys the gut lining, which the junctions are joined by a mesh that keeps the good stuff in and the bad stuff out. So now glyphosate's destroyed those junctions, so the bad stuff's getting in and the good stuff's getting out. Now, I love this one, glyphosate and collagen. So our body makes 28 different types of collagen. And this illustration shows different areas in our body where collagen is predominant. Our brain, hugely collagen. Our eyes, our blood vessels, our muscles, and our heart is a muscle. But I love the knees. How many people do you know that have squeaky knees They think they have arthritis. The doctors told them they have arthritis. They need a knee replacement. When actually it's the cartilage in the tendon is collagen depleted. Pump that back up. We've seen amazing results. But also collagen is our scaffolding and our glue. So, I mean, that's an argument for avoiding glyphosate right there. But glyphosate in our immune system, as I said, glyphosate destroys glycine, which is 1/3 of our body's production of glutathione. This is not the glutathione supplement that you can get. This is the glutathione our body makes with glycine, cysteine, and glutamate. It's an exchange that happens. It's just an absolute miracle. So it's our glutathione is our master antioxidant. It's our front line of defense. And that's our cellular detox and repair like nothing else. Now, wash or avoid. Well, you may have been told to wash your produce in bicarb or vinegar to get rid of the glyphosate or herbicides. Well, I've interviewed Dr. Stephanie Seneff 3 times, the world's foremost authority on glyphosate. And she said, you can't wash it off because it's inside. It's already done its damage. So you can't peel it off or cook it out. So if you don't remember anything from my talk today, do remember that. And to eat or not to eat. The feedback I get is, well, organic is so expensive and I can't get everything I want. Well, you can prioritize your shopping. So like lentils, great source of fiber, protein, and they're so teeny tiny, so they get doused with glyphosate. So you might as well drink it. But the cheapest chips to buy organic versions. And chickpeas, lovely chickpeas, we have them, lovely chickpeas today, they get inundated with glyphosate. So make sure you get organic ones. And I think Tesco and Sainsbury's have wonderful organic hummus options too. And then fruit and berries. We don't like insect nibble bites out of our lovely fruits and berries. So it gets more than just glyphosate. Grow your own. I either grow my own or I don't eat them because you can't usually find organic versions easily. And rapeseed. When's the last time you saw a bee in a rapeseed field? And rapeseed is in everything. I was looking at olives the other day. And they put, why do you put rapeseed oil in olives? Yeah, just about sweet potatoes, sweet peppers, and apples get no fewer than 26 different pesticides now. A couple of years ago it was 15. It's going in the wrong direction. But the good news is we can join our ancestors and make sourdough bread. And it is literally change your bread, change your life. And I had some samples back there. Some of you helped me eat them. Not just the bread. Sourdough cake. Sourdough cake. It is so good. Sourdough crackers. Eat all you want. And you have not had a crumpet till you've had a sourdough crumpet. I mean, it's just so good. There's so many things you can make with the sourdough basis as the start. And there's more good news. So I put together this ebook. It's a download, Food the Way It Was. Chapters on foraging, fermenting, sourdough, more than just the bread. Pesticides, so versus organic. Some safe gardening alternatives to glyphosate. Hydration, proper hydration, and loads of recipes. 46 pages of information, loads of time-saving, nutrient-dense recipes. If you're eating nutrient-dense, you eat less, and you feel better. So you save time and you save money. You can scan the QR code there. It's £7 for the download. It'll go right straight to you. Or grab one of my cards and email me for the link. And I have a sign-up sheet here for Michael's bread classes. I'm not watching the time, Trevor, am I all right? I don't even know when I started. We're a little bit late, weren't we?
Probably just after 4:15.
So Michael's bread class is phenomenal. He was diagnosed celiac as a child, nearly died as a teenager from celiac disease. He's 79 now, and he's teaching these classes. So if he can eat this bread, most anybody else can. So we had a class here a couple weeks ago. We're going to have another one. We've got a sign-up sheet if you're interested. It doesn't commit you, but it's limited to 10. And then Trevor will let you know when the next class is. And then maybe some health issues have come to mind, some gut issues or brain fog. I've got a sign-up sheet for a complimentary strategy session. And then what else? Well, because health doesn't begin in the pharmacy, it often begins in the kitchen. So that's it. Thank you very much.